Hello everyone, and welcome to Synapse. Today, we are embarking on an incredible journey through the animal kingdom, focusing on a fascinating group, vertebrata. We'll explore animals that share a common, crucial feature, a backbone. From the fish swimming in our oceans to the birds soaring in the sky, and even ourselves, we are all part of this diverse family. Get ready to understand the unique characteristics of pisces, amphibia, reptilia, aves, and mammalia as we navigate through easy, medium, hard, and hardest levels of understanding. Let's dive in. Let's start with the basics and understand what makes a vertebrate. Well, a vertebrate. Vertebrates are a huge group of animals, and their most defining feature is having an internal skeleton with a backbone. This backbone, also called the vertebral column, is made up of many small bones called vertebrae. It's super important because it protects the spinal cord, which is like the main highway for messages between your brain and the rest of your body. Think of fish, birds, or even humans, we all have this essential structure. Beyond the backbone, vertebrates also have a dorsal nerve cord running along their back, paired body parts like limbs or fins, and a true body cavity called a column where their organs are housed. These shared features point to a common ancestry. Now, let's look at the 5 main classes that make up the vertebrates. First, we have pisces, the fishes, who live entirely in water, breathe with gills, and have scales and fins. Next are amphibia, like frogs, which lead a dual life, needing water for breathing but living on land too, with moist skin and no scales. Then comes reptilia, the reptiles, mostly land dwellers with dry, scaly skin, laying eggs on land. Aves, or birds, are known for their feathers, wings for flight, and hard-shelled eggs. Finally, mammalia, our own class, distinguished by hair or fur, mammary glands to feed their young, and mostly giving birth to live young. Each class has unique adaptations for its environment. That was a quick introduction to the amazing world of vertebrates. To check your understanding, here are 3 simple questions. Take a moment to think about them. What is the main distinguishing feature that gives vertebrates their name? Can you name 2 animals from the pisces class and state one characteristic? And finally, which class of vertebrates lives both on land and in water and lays eggs in water? Good luck! Ready to dive a bit deeper? Let's explore the fundamental characteristics and the first 2 classes of vertebrates. Vertebrates are a crucial subphylum of Chordata. Their defining characteristics include the notochord, a flexible rod present in embryos, which later transforms into the vertebral column in most adults. This provides robust support. They also possess a dorsal hollow nerve cord, which develops into the brain and spinal cord. Paired pharyngeal gill pouches are another key feature, present at some developmental stage, evolving into gills in aquatic forms or other structures in terrestrial ones. All vertebrates are triploblastic, meaning they develop from 3 germ layers and are coelomate, having a true body cavity. They also exhibit bilateral symmetry, allowing for efficient movement and sensory perception. Let's focus on the aquatic and dual-life vertebrates. Pisces, or fishes, are exclusively aquatic, breathing with gills and covered in scales. They have a 2-chambered heart and are cold-blooded, meaning their body temperature depends on their surroundings. They primarily reproduce by laying eggs in water. Amphibia, like frogs, lead a dual life needing water for reproduction but living on land as adults. Their moist, glandular skin allows for respiration alongside their lungs. They possess a 3-chambered heart and are also cold-blooded. Amphibians lay eggs in water and undergo metamorphosis, a dramatic transformation from larva to adult. Moving to terrestrial vertebrates, we have reptilia, aves, and mammalia. Reptiles, like snakes and lizards, have dry, scaly skin and breathe with lungs. Most have a 3-chambered heart and are cold-blooded, laying leathery, amniotic eggs on land. Aves, or birds, are uniquely characterized by feathers and wings for flight. They have highly efficient lungs with air sacs and a four-chambered heart, making them warm-blooded. Birds lay hard-shelled, amniotic eggs. Finally, Mammalia, our class, are identified by hair or fur and mammary glands to feed their young. They are warm-blooded, possess a four-chambered heart, and mostly give birth to live young. These adaptations enable them to thrive in diverse environments. You've now covered the core characteristics and main classes of vertebrates. Let's test your understanding with 5 questions. Can you list 3 common characteristics shared by all vertebrates? How do pisces and amphibia differ in their respiratory organs as adults? Explain why reptiles are considered better adapted to terrestrial life than amphibians. What unique feature defines mammals and helps them care for their young? And finally, distinguish between poikilothermic and homeothermic animals, giving an example for each. Pause and think them through. Time to challenge ourselves. Let's explore the deeper evolutionary and physiological adaptations within vertebrates. The evolutionary journey of vertebrates is fascinating. The notochord, a flexible rod, was a primitive chordate feature. In most vertebrates, it was replaced by a vertebral column, a segmented backbone, providing stronger support and protection for the spinal cord, enabling larger body sizes and more complex movements. The dorsal hollow nerve cord persisted, developing into our sophisticated brain and spinal cord. Pharyngeal gill slits, present in all chordate embryos, evolved into functional gills in aquatic vertebrates, but were ingeniously repurposed into structures like the eustachian tube and glands in terrestrial ones, a clear sign of shared ancestry. All vertebrates are coelomate and bilaterally symmetrical, demonstrating a highly organized and efficient body plan. Respiratory and circulatory systems have undergone remarkable adaptations. For breathing, fish use highly efficient gills with a countercurrent exchange. Amphibian larvae have gills, while adults use less efficient lungs and rely on moist skin. Reptiles, birds, and mammals primarily use lungs, but with increasing complexity, simple sacs in reptiles, unidirectional flow with air sacs in birds for incredible efficiency, and alveolar lungs in mammals for maximal gas exchange. In circulation, fish have a two-chambered heart with single circulation. Amphibians and most reptiles have a three-chambered heart with incomplete double circulation, leading to some blood mixing. Birds and mammals, however, boast a four-chambered heart with complete double circulation, ensuring efficient oxygen delivery for their high metabolic demands. Thermoregulation and reproductive strategies are key to vertebrate survival. Pisces, amphibia, and reptilia are poikilotherms, or cold-blooded, meaning their body temperature fluctuates with the environment. They conserve energy but are limited in extreme conditions, often relying on behavioral regulation like basking. In contrast, aves and mammalia are homotherms, or warm-blooded, maintaining a constant internal temperature through metabolic heat. This requires more energy but allows them to be active in diverse climates. For reproduction, most fish and amphibians are oviparous with external fertilization. Reptiles and birds are oviparous with internal fertilization, laying amniotic eggs with protective membranes, a crucial adaptation for land. Most mammals are viviparous, giving birth to live young after internal development, providing significant protection and nourishment. You've delved into some complex aspects of vertebrate biology. Now, let's see how well you've grasped these concepts. Here are 7 questions for you. Describe the evolutionary significance of the notochord being replaced by a vertebral column. Compare and contrast the respiratory systems of a fish, a frog, and a bird. Explain the advantage of a four-chambered heart over a two-chambered heart in terms of metabolic efficiency. How do poikilothermic and homeothermic animals differ in their energy expenditure? Discuss the adaptations in reproductive strategies that allowed reptiles and birds to colonize diverse terrestrial environments. Why is the skin of amphibians crucial for their survival? And finally, explain how the type of fertilization correlates with the habitat of different vertebrate classes. Good luck! For the true biology enthusiasts, let's explore the cutting-edge and competitive depths of vertebrate diversity. The phylogenetic journey of vertebrates began with invertebrate chordates, with the evolution of a cranium and vertebral column being transformative. Early jawless fish, like lampreys, represent this ancestral state. A major leap was the development of jaws from gill arches, giving rise to gnathostomata, enabling active predation and a vast array of feeding strategies. Paired fins also evolved, dramatically improving locomotion. The transition to land was a monumental step, with lobefin fish giving rise to tetrapods, the amphibians. This required significant adaptations for gravity, air breathing, and preventing water loss. Crucially, the evolution of the amniotic egg in reptiles, birds, and mammals truly liberated reproduction from water, cementing their full conquest of terrestrial environments. Vertebrate skeletons showcase incredible adaptations for locomotion. Fish have streamlined bodies and various fins for efficient movement in water. Amphibians developed limbs from fins for crawling, though often with a sprawling posture. Reptiles further refined limb structure for terrestrial weight-bearing, while some, like snakes, evolved highly flexible vertebrae for undulatory movement. Birds possess a remarkably lightweight yet strong skeleton, featuring hollow bones, fused vertebrae, and a keel sternum, all optimized for powerful flight. Mammals exhibit the most diverse skeletal adaptations, from cursorial limbs for running to specialized structures for climbing, burrowing, flying, or swimming, with limbs generally positioned directly beneath the body for efficient, upright posture. The nervous system progressively increases in complexity across classes, with advanced cephalization in mammals. Fish have a lateral line system for detecting vibrations and a keen sense of smell. Birds boast exceptional vision and a highly developed cerebellum for flight coordination. Mammals exhibit the most complex cerebrum with a convoluted cortex, enabling advanced learning and behavior. Sensory organs are finely tuned to their environments, for instance, echolocation in bats and dolphins. Excretion and osmoregulation strategies are equally diverse. Freshwater fish excrete dilute urine, while marine fish and birds often use salt glands. Amphibians excrete urea, while reptiles and birds excrete uric acid, conserving water. Mammals have highly efficient kidneys with long loops of Henle to produce concentrated urine, maintaining precise osmotic balance. Endocrine regulation plays a vital role across all vertebrates. A prime example is the thyroid hormones orchestrating the dramatic metamorphosis in amphibians. In mammals, a complex interplay of hormones regulates everything from growth and metabolism to reproduction and stress responses, ensuring precise homeostasis. Ecologically, vertebrates occupy crucial niches as predators, herbivores, and even ecosystem engineers, influencing food webs and nutrient cycles. However, they face severe conservation challenges, including habitat loss, climate change, and pollution. Bio-inspired engineering draws lessons from these adaptations. Bird flight inspires aircraft design, fish hydrodynamics informs submarine development, bat echolocation guides sonar technology, and reptilian scales inspire protective materials. Understanding these systems not only deepens our biological knowledge but also fuels innovation. You've truly explored the depths of vertebrate biology. Now, let's tackle these challenging questions. Trace the evolutionary path from early chordates to the diversification of jawed vertebrates, highlighting key innovations. Compare the skeletal adaptations for locomotion in a fish, a snake, and a bird. Elaborate on the progressive complexity of the nervous system and sensory organs across the vertebrate classes. Discuss the different strategies employed by freshwater fish, marine birds, and desert mammals for osmoregulation and excretion. And finally, explain the crucial role of endocrine hormones in amphibian metamorphosis and mammalian homeostasis. Take your time to formulate comprehensive answers. Let's continue with the remaining 5 questions to solidify your advanced understanding. How did the evolution of the amniotic egg significantly contribute to the complete conquest of land by certain vertebrate groups? Analyze the energetic trade-offs between poikilothermy and homeothermy, considering their implications for activity levels and geographical distribution. Describe how the design principles observed in avian flight can be applied in engineering for improved aircraft performance. Discuss the major anthropogenic threats to vertebrate diversity and propose comprehensive conservation strategies. And lastly, compare the efficiency of oxygen uptake in the respiratory systems of a fish, an adult frog, and a mammal, considering their structural adaptations and the medium. Think critically. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the fascinating world of vertebrata. We've journeyed from the basic characteristics of animals with backbones, through the unique features of pisces, amphibia, reptilia, aves, and mammalia, all the way to their complex evolutionary adaptations, physiological systems, and their impact on our world. We hope this comprehensive exploration has sparked your curiosity and deepened your understanding of biology. For more such engaging and in-depth educational content, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more exciting lessons. Keep exploring, keep learning, and thank you for joining us on Synapse.